Wednesday afternoon, I have the pleasure of talking Arsenal with Kenny Ken and DJB, who you can see on screen with myself. We're not saying, lads, we got a lot to discuss, man. A lot.
Yeah. There's a lot to discuss. Just glad I got back this morning. I've had a few problems and stuff, like family and stuff, but all good now. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on ahead of a very, very important match. Very important match. Probably one of the biggest North London derbies at the moment. So, yeah, lots going on. Can do without the injuries, but let's hope we've got enough to cope with them. Let's hope we've got enough to cope. We'll have to wait and see, but big up to everyone.
Come on, and big up the chat as well. Do make sure you're subscribing to DJB's platform and let us know anything you want us to cover. Kenny, he's telling me.
I'll tell you, it's absolutely freezing.
Yeah, it is blitz. We're really getting winter now.
And the worst thing is when you got the boiler, like you got the plumber coming to help fix the boiler, and the heating's not working. This is awful.
It's layers upon layers, man.
Like for now, I don't know. 1 minute it's September, and it's you're having to put your computer in a different place because the sunlight keeps on shining on the screen. And now it's not the sunlight you're worried about. It's actually weather. So yeah, it's been eventful. For me, I was at the boxing, the Chris Eubank kind of thing fight.
Did you get your money back, Kenny?
Yeah, exactly. That was crap.
I watched the whole bout. I don't go for the main event because if you go for the main event, more for you because what if you just turn up for the main event and it's in the fight ends in 2 rounds? You feel cheated. You might as well just go and enjoy the full boxing, which I did. But I still think that Conor Ben is lucky to be in the sport, and I think that the rehydration clause isn't boxing, isn't prop boxing. It's I just think the Bens, especially Nigel, should accept that if you really, really want to beat Chris Eubank Senior, you should have done it in the ring rather than getting your son to avenge your loss. I thought it was quite pathetic, that fight. Yeah. But I went to both of them because I thought, all right, boxing spectacle. My wife loves boxing, so let's have it. And I hope that Chris Eubanks Jr. was going to give him, put boxing back in the map. But unfortunately, the rehydration clause caught up with him. But that was great. And then, obviously, we're going to get to the show. I had a few discussions with, which I did the exclusive on Lee's show. So I'm not saying it after the event, but on Lee's show, I told him that I was out. Yeah, I was out with some family friends. 2 of them are junior doctors. And they gave me the lowdown on what was expected with Gabriel. So I mentioned Lee's show that if it was, we'll discuss it anyway in the show. But yeah, they were spot on.
Now, man, you've segued into it, man. We might as well go over it. Let me get it on screen.
Basically,
get away, man, lads.
Basically, the junior doctors told me that if he's actually injured and it's only slight, it's 2 weeks. That he'll have no chance of playing North London derby, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea. Chelsea, we pushed it for Chelsea if it's only 2 weeks. Because remember, he got injured on a Saturday, the 15th. But if he says it's long term and it's actually a serious injury, they said 6 to 8 weeks. And lo and behold, yesterday, it was announced it'd be 6 to 8 weeks. So they were spot on because they were just telling me about rest and recuperation, and they were talking about. We talked about all the injuries, and one thing they did mention is secondary injuries. And they mentioned about the cruciate knee injuries as well. That mentally you're not going to be the same player. You can still do the same thing, but players have to accept the knee's always going to be weaker. But yeah, that injury to Gabby, we discussed it at length on Sunday. So I was already prepared for the best case scenario and the worst case scenario.
As you should. This is upsetting, man. DJB, where are you at with this?
It's just tough times because with Gabriel, basically he's a goal threat. He's been our main goal threat. So without Gabriel, and I keep saying it, without Rice, we probably would be struggling to be top of the league because our final third in attack has been not as good. We've got over the line through set plays and stuff like that in a lot of the games, and he is the threat. He's the main one that kind of he's a
big brother in a somewhat young defense or middle-aged defense.
So you're going to lose that. You're going to lose his leadership skills as well.
Exactly.
So it's not just a player. It's the way he leads on the field as well. And let's be honest, he's been our best defender. I know people say Timber, but this guy's been the best defender.
I think it's the Timber.
Well, but I mean, in a central,
I think Gabriel Magalhães has got away with a couple of things, but
this guy in a central position has led from the front, and he's been our main leader on the pitch. We ain't really had a captain on the pitch, and this is one of them that leads, galvanises everyone. It's what he does off the ball as well. He talks organisation, pulls people in, and
everything really.
We're going to miss him, and people are going to say Mosquera and Incapia coming in and stuff like that. You ain't going to fill this guy's boots. Definitely not going to fill this guy's boots. And with the fixtures coming thick and fast, this guy's going to be a miss. I don't want to talk about squad depth and everything else because the squad depth has never faced a North London derby. They've never faced Bayern Munich in a Champions League at the Emirates, and they've never gone away to Chelsea in a big London derby. So those players are going to find a whole new experience in playing for Arsenal Football Club under that kind of pressure. And as me and Kenny said from the start, if you got the best 11, we're going to be under a lot of pressure to win every single game. You've got to be flawless. And these players coming in now to take up the mentor of this guy, whoever it is, whether he plays in Capia, whoever he moves alongside Saliba, it's a serious problem. It's a serious problem, and it's one that could have been avoided. I think it's one that could have been avoided. I think he's played too many minutes since he came back from his horrendous injury. I don't think he's been managed well enough. Now, people can talk about
Brazil because both the centre backs have Militao's picked up and a Dr. Knock as well.
People can talk about the Brazil. I'm not, but the bottom line is the Brazilian manager hasn't had him all season. The Brazilian manager hasn't played him in every single Champions League game. The Brazilian manager didn't play him against Preston in the League Cup.
True.
It was our manager and our coaching staff. And at the bottom line is he's not been managed enough. We've been speaking about squad depth and rotation and everything else. Oh, we're a lot stronger now. We're this, we're that, we're this, we're that. I said it from the start. We as fans might think that we're stronger, but the manager still only trusts his spine. He doesn't trust what's on the bench. Otherwise, this guy would have got more rest than he should have.
When you mentioned the Preston comment as well, and it was almost like last season, I think when we battered PSV, he didn't sub him. The Premier League, it kind of is what it is. I maintain all the best teams should have went out there. I want to ask you lot, because you kind of touched on it, DJB. People do say we've got some of the best depth in the world and everything like that. We all know we're going to miss Magalhães, and it's a bitter pill to swallow. But should we be nervous, or do we have enough to get through this?
No, I think we should be nervous. You miss key player. Any football team that misses key players, you're suddenly looking at a whole new dimension on the way we play. You're talking about you're talking big games coming thick and fast. We've got Aston Villa at home, Aston Villa away, Chelsea away. And they're coming every 3 or 4 days. Now this is just one injury. We've still got Timber that has played a lot of minutes. You've still got Rice that plays a lot of minutes, that has played a lot of minutes.
The Hincapiés, Mosqueras, all them guys are by default going to have to play a lot of minutes as well because we're not going to have that luxury.
Exactly, and I've said all along we're 2 or 3 injuries away from setting up similar to what we did last season. If Rice goes down now, then you've definitely lost 50% of your goals. So. This is what I'm saying. It's a fine line now. I'm going to put it out there, right? People are going on about Hincapié and Mosquera. Well, if we go back July, we go back during the transfer windows, how many people in the chat or how many people out there would have said, I know what, let's go and get Hincapié and Mosquera. They'll bolster our team. Half of these fans never even heard of them. And now they're waxing, and now they're saying, oh, yeah, they can come in, don't worry, they'll do a job, they'll be ready.
Are they wrong for, even if that is the case? Are they wrong for believing in
play? Half of them have never even seen them play. Which
is true.
Would never have seen them play. Half of them, if you'd have said, we're going to sign in Hincapié and Mosquera, they'd have gone, who? Who are they?
True.
We was all talking about Rodrigo. We was all talking about Eze. We was all talking about Gyökeres. No one mentioned Hincapié and Mosquera. And now we've got to rely on them as possibly our, as our defensive lineup. So, listen, the bottom line is we've got injuries. There's players now, we're getting false narratives out about, players will be ready after the international break. Havertz has had a knockback. Gyökeres is not ready. Odegaard's not ready. So players have got to step up. The team's got to step up. We're going into big games now. It's no good crying over it. It's no good making excuses. We've had all the excuses about injuries in the past. They've now got to step up and prove to Arsenal Football Club that they're good enough to play, wear the shirt and get over the line. That's what it comes down to.
And you look at the next 6 games as well, to echo your point, DJB. North London Derby, Bayern, Chelsea, Brentford, Aston Villa, which we played twice, and away at Club Brugge.
Absolutely.
Did well against Barca.
Absolutely. And at the start of the season, would you have said Hincapié and Mosquera was going to be signings to two? No, as I said, no one mentioned them. No one mentioned them. No one had heard of them. And then suddenly it's like, don't worry, we've got squad depth. Well, we'll see now, won't we? We'll have to wait and see now because they're going to be heavily tested. So we'll just wait and see.
I want to ask you, look, before I ask you, obviously, like between Mosquera, Hincapié, or whatever, obviously, whichever one comes in, that's another debate. Is it time for Saliba to step up now, beyond the obvious? Because when I look at leadership qualities, that is beyond the obvious. That's why I miss Magalhães. Like, are we looking at Saliba to kind of do that now? Especially if he plays with Mosquera, he's younger than
100%. Saliba's a fantastic player, and I think he's absolutely brilliant. And but I mean, before Kenny comes in, Saliba's been in the comfort zone, and that's mainly because of Magalhães has been so good. Saliba's just had to sort of, shepherd and do a job. Now Saliba's going to be the main defender in that central role there, so he has now got to take over Gabriel's role. People are saying Gabriel January. I'm not even... Do you know what? I'm going to be honest with you now. I don't expect to see him back till February, March. Possibly.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Well, he's going to come back January. He ain't going to play. He's been out all that time.
Yeah, we're going to have to wrap him in.
So you're going to be well into February before he's up to match fitness. So,
that's a good point. Because we've got Liverpool and United in Jan.
This is what I'm saying. So... we're going to have to wait and see. But, I mean, we thought Odegaard was going to be back by now. We thought Havertz was going to be back by now. So you just got to keep an open mind with Gabriel. I'm me personally as a fan, realistically looking at February till he's back properly. That's what I'm looking at. If he comes back earlier, it's a bonus. But Saliba has to step up. He's not the only one that has to step up, DG. Eze's got to step up. Eze's got to step up. Saka's got to step up.
All of our attackers, if I'm honest.
This is it now. This is it now. International. There's no more international break now. This is it now. This is the serious side of winning a Premiership. From now on in, games are coming thick and fast. We've got the Christmas period coming up. This is where now they've all got to step up and want to win and want to get over the line. But there's still a lot of players that have played a lot of minutes. Rice, Timber played a lot of minutes. So we just got to hope.
Now, thank the Lord, he'll be in the North London Derby. A lot of these players. And again, if you're a centre-back or not, like I don't know how to make it make sense, but Gabriel's injury means like you're going to have to wrap the Timbers, the Miles Lewis-Skellies who barely got any minutes in Cotton Wool, because we're going to have to chop and change. These games are coming thick and fast, but this is why we got the depth in it.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's why we've got the depth. But as I said, does he trust the depth? Because that was
And
clearly
you've got no
visible.
choice.
That was clearly visible against Sunderland. He didn't trust it because he made one substitution.
You got no choice. At the end of the day, yeah, like obviously I miss Gabriel Magalhães, but I'm hardly looking around and seeing Rob Holding, Mustafi, this one, that one. I look at Hincapié, you're 23 years of age, you've been around on the scene, you've captained your country. Mascara, you was a key player for Valencia. You haven't put a foot wrong, to be fair, in the majority of the minutes you've played. I believe in you, lot. Obviously, Gabriel Magalhães is a bitter pill to swallow, but gonna have to get it done. You're gonna have to get it done. Some fans were even saying, and I don't know where you lot view it, like potentially putting Calafiori centre back and bringing in Miles Lewis-Skelly. Well, maybe you have to do all of that at some point, to be fair.
You're on mute, Kenny.
Yeah, I think you're on mute, Kenny, man.
I think it is an idea. You can get Miles in the side and to play left back and put Calafiori at right back. But yeah, there'll be games. But the thing is that the manager has stocked up defenders. You know, he's tried because he wanted to perfect that kind of low block, thou shall not overload. He's been trying defenders after defenders after defenders, selling some, keeping some. So this scenario of defenders getting injured, yeah, we are prepared for that, without a shadow of doubt. But the problem is that it's all about the players in midfield and our front players as well. You know, the shape isn't just about Gabriel. It's not about Saliba. They only play their best football if they got protection around them. If you lose someone like Declan Rice, who provides a really good screen,
God forbid,
and you lose the work rate at times with Mendy, and you still have Gabriel, Saliba and a first choice fullbacks, there'll be problems because they're going to be in the game all the time because there's no one to protect them. So even if we do lose Gabriel Magalhães, we still got that screen around him. You know, we still got Timber.
Still should have good shape in our side.
We still have Calafiori as well. You know, Timber. I believe Holland have qualified for the World Cup, so he's fine. Calafiori got a playoff. Don't know when that is. I think that's in March. So it's one of the games when he's going to be playing a lot of games. But in terms of should we worry? Yeah, you should always worry when your first choice is out. You know, there's a reason why they're first choice, because they're consistent. They make the team look better. They're the best in their position. So yeah, it is a worry. But the way Mikel's kind of built the squad around the defence, it won't be an issue initially, but long term, if you're always around without your best players, long term, it'll catch up with you. Because at the end of the day, there's a reason why.
It makes a difference, man.
There's a reason why some players are first choice, and there's a guy who's fighting that player first choice. For instance, Odegaard's first choice in the football team. Yeah, we've had sort of differences over Odegaard. We weren't happy with his performances, but from how Arteta wants to play, we're getting by in terms of results-wise. But he'd probably be the first person to tell you that, yeah, my team looks a lot better with Odegaard in the side. That's just facts, you know what I mean? You know, and the same with if we lost, Calafiori or Timber, we've got Ben White, we've got Miles Lewis-Skelly, but the manager's going to want his first choice. So yeah, Spurs shouldn't make much of an impact because it's a derby. They'll be up for it. We've got protection. Spurs, they've had a good away. They've got great away form, but there's still a gap in terms of quality between the sides. So if we're playing at home, we should be expecting to do that. Bayern Munich, it's a Champions League.
That's where I miss Gabriel the most, if I'm honest.
It's 1-1 really. They haven't got Diaz because of suspension, and we've now haven't got Gabriel. So it's 1-1 in terms of missing key players. So it's a case where without Diaz, we're probably the slight favourites. But now, without Gabriel...
You reckon we're favourites ahead of Bayern?
I wouldn't say that as such.
Even before Gabriel's injury.
We are playing at home, aren't we? And let's face it, we've got another year's experience. We're playing well. We have stepped up to the plate. We do defend well as a team, but without Gabriel, it's a case where we do have to worry because, he's our best defender. And look what Sunderland did to us. They actually made our defenders defend. They made our fullbacks defend. They got in the face of our midfield, pressed, and earned the right to play football. They worked their nuts off and then played. Bayern Munich are going to do all those things. Believe it.
Harry Kane.
Yeah, Mosquera, Hincapié, they are going to get a game. Harry Kane is not going to just stand the shoulder. He's going to go deep, and he's going to try and force. He's going to try and get Declan Rice out of position so he can't attack. So there's 2 on Kane, and then that will free space for other players. So yeah, it's a tricky game next week. That's
why I wanted Gabriel, because he'll follow Kane everywhere he goes.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, but the Spurs game is much more vital because it's the next game.
Yeah, we dropped 2 points at Sunderland when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, the Spurs game coming up Sunday is massive, really. I think it's really important that we get back to winning ways, especially after the Sunderland game. We've got to get the 3 points. I mean, then that'll give you a little bit of confidence going into the Bayern game. I think the Bayern game will just take care of itself, whatever the outcome is. We've got 12 points in the bank in the Champions League. So if worst way we do slip up against Bayern, then I think we've got enough games left to get through. Although Bruges away will be a hard, tough one. But I'm hoping that we've got enough credit in the bank if worst comes to the worst against Bayern. But the Spurs game is the one we need 3 points. That's the one we need to go into the next 2 games winning. Because if you draw or lose that, and then you don't get nothing out the Bayern game, suddenly you've gone 3 games and haven't picked up maximum points.
And also, before we kick a ball, I hope Newcastle beats City. If you ask me to put money, I think City are going to deal with them. But that 4-point gap that we have at the top here, that turns to 1 before we kick a ball. Now, it's too early to look at the table, but things can change positively and negatively very fast. So you're right.
Yeah, I mean, well, things have changed now. I mean, even though we've had a really good start to the season and it's all been positive, we're still only 4 points clear of City, which is nothing.
In November, nothing. And
City now, if they beat Newcastle, we're going into that North London derby 1 point ahead. And this is what I'm trying to say. When you lose a player like Gabriel, it's not just the player; it's everything about it. It's how it affects the team. Because one of the reasons why that defence is good is I agree with Kenny because the team around it. But when you've got a massive defender like Gabriel and he's pulling players in, he's talking, he's organising, he's geeing them up and everything, and suddenly you haven't got that, it starts to put defenders into 2 minds. And I've always said Saliba's really good, but sometimes he gets caught in 2 minds and he hesitates.
He needs his big brother, man. You see it for France. It's more exaggerated for France.
And he's got that slight hesitation in him because he's still learning. He's still learning his game. He's only young, really, in retrospect. But he has got that slight hesitation. And when you've got someone like Gabriel alongside you, you can sort of get away with it. So these are the little things we're going to miss Gabriel with. Everything's now it changes the whole dimension of that defence.
You want to test that left hand side if you're playing us now.
I still think we've got enough and we should be able to cope. However, it is going to be a miss. I think if you disrespect, I mean, Spurs are unbeaten away from home. They're better away from home than they are at home.
And it's a North London derby. If you can't be up for it, I don't know.
Yeah. And although Thomas Frank on paper has not had a good record against Arteta, he's made games very, very difficult against Brentford. We've not really, when he was manager of Brentford, we didn't really steamroll them at any point.
So very well.
Yeah. So it's going to be really, really difficult. That game against Spurs could actually decide how we sit come January, because if we lose that game and then we lose against Bayern and we don't pick nothing up against Chelsea, going into December, going into December could look a whole lot different. So, we do need to get maximum points against Spurs, and then hopefully then it'll give us the confidence to get something out of Bayern. I wouldn't be disappointed with a draw against Bayern, to be honest.
I would, but I wouldn't.
Obviously, I'd like a win.
Exactly.
We come out with a draw. I think it suits both teams. I'm just looking at injuries, DG. That's the thing I'm more worried about. I'm more worried about injuries now because I've said it. Although I think we're stronger, although I think we have got depth, I'm a little bit on the fence whether it is actually that good because it hasn't been tested yet.
It's getting tested now. Like, do you know what? It's been like a building thing. It was tested first game of the season, and now we're gonna get onto all the others because we've been focusing on Magalhães, but there's everybody.
You say about Hincapié and Mosquera and what they've done before they come to the club and the experience they've got.
Where are our attackers?
It's a whole lot different when you're playing for Arsenal or you're playing for one of the big six teams and you're chasing a Premiership. That all goes out the window. Their CV before they come to the club all goes out the window.
And also communication. Like football's universal, but I don't know Mosquera and Hincapié's level of English. I don't know just how him and Saliba communicate.
And it'd be wrong. DG, it would be wrong of me to sit here and go, "Oh yeah, I'm not worried. Hincapié, Mosquera, brilliant, blah blah blah." I've not really seen them play enough, and I've definitely not seen them play enough in the Premiership under pressure. So until I do, I can't really make my mind up on them. You know, I've seen enough of Zubimendi and I've made my mind up on him.
Zubimendinho, he trusts me by Mayday, man. We're going to join the hive.
Yeah, I mean, great when he's got space and he's got the ball. He looks world class, but under pressure in defence as a number 6, don't think he's strong enough. Personally, don't think he's strong enough. I think he gets bullied too easy. I think his positional skills in defensively he's not good enough. I think he gets pushed off the ball. I think he gives the ball away under pressure. When he's got the ball and he's got acres of space against teams that don't put us under pressure, looks brilliant. You'd look brilliant with that, with space, with the ball. Anyone would. But what I'm trying to say is, these are the worrying. This is the worry. You know, this ain't little boys football now. This is the nitty gritty now. This is the proper stage of the season now. International breaks over. You got the Christmas period. You got the Christmas period. I'm hoping Mosquera or whoever comes in is good enough, but they're gonna be under pressure now. You're gonna see whether they are good enough to play for Arsenal Football Club. So just have to wait and see. But don't underestimate how much an effect it's going to have. Gabriel missing. It will have an effect on the team.
You can't. You really can't. If you just use your eyes, you can see what Magalhães doing.
Before Kenny comes in, do you remember that season when we was going brilliant guns and Saliba got injured and we missed Saliba?
I did a video on that today. And then Holding came in. It didn't quite bang. Kivio finally got an opportunity. Whether it's 1 or 20 injuries, but
everyone it doesn't matter. Was saying, if we'd have had Saliba, we'd have won the league. Well, it's similar now because people are saying
I don't want to go down that route anymore, man. Regardless of who's available, get this done. Appreciative for the super chat. Sorry, lads, because I've left this on the screen for a minute. Players have to step up. Marino, Saka, Eze, all of them. City back then could play their bench and win big games. I hear you with that. And at the end of the day, nothing in life comes easy. We've been drawn a short store of injuries. We're going to have to make it happen. Kenny as well. I wanted to, and DJB can get involved in this as well. We've been speaking so much about the defensive ranks, and I keep saying Hincapié, Mosquera, Gabriel. I actually want to know, if you lot were the manager, who comes in for Gabriel? What's your lot's first port of call? Are you going with Mosquera or not?
No, Mosquera. No, I won't play Mosquera because Mosquera is better. Because if you go by
right centre back,
left centre back, I'll go in Hincapié because that's where he played him. He's a left centre back and he can play. He can play at left back, but I'll try him at left centre back because that's what he's been bought for. He hasn't been bought to play in any other position other than left centre back or left back. So it's a no-brainer playing him. I know it's harsh and marginally scary because Calafiori can play it in the centre half as left centre back. I think could be his position in the future. But the problem is he's playing way too well as a left back.
To be tweaking tweaking another thing.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing. it's like Miles Skelly gives us a lot of left back. He gives us, he can make bursts of runs. He gets into good positions. Defensively, his body shape's great, but you know, it's one of the things where I can't see him playing for the foreseeable future unless there's an injury to Calafiori. So I do think Nkapie will come in for the Spurs game and Bayern Munich and for get around in the team. So and
is that harsh on Mosquera?
Not necessarily, because if normally managers like Guardiola and managers like Arteta, they insist on left and right. Right footed down centre half and left footed down centre half, and it's all about. It's not really about defending as such, because remember, Tony Adams is right footed. He plays as left centre half. John Terry is right footed. He plays as left centre half. But those guys were there as defenders and organisers and lead. You know what I mean? But in terms of Arteta, he likes ball players. He wants people.
This guy's even saying put Timber centre half. He did play there for Holland during the break. I don't know about that.
Not a left centre half. We can't. We're not just going to accommodate, Ben White and Miles Skelly just for the sake of it.
For me, I'm going in Nkapie.
Why should we disrupt our fullbacks who have been excellent this season just to get them in a team? Why don't we just get like for like?
Yeah,
Mosquera play if Saliba's injured, and he will get injured because that's life. Replace Saliba,
and he had an opportunity.
Nkapie comes in for Gabriel Magalhães. And it is where it is, disrupting, players who've been playing well, and we look better as a team with them in a side. Where I think we have proper left back, proper fullbacks. I think it's unnecessary unless those players got injury. But yeah, Nkapie all day long, and then basically what's going to happen now is that Rice is going to have to work harder, which he already does. Trossard will have to work harder, especially down that left-hand side. Now he's got a different, down that left-hand side, just to work hard for the ball. And that's the thing. Regardless of who's in and who's out, the work rate has to remain the same off the ball from every player, from Marino up top, to the full, to the wingers and the midfielders. That's the way football is now these days, But all day long, Nkapie, Kivior. Look,
I prefer them both over Kivior. Good riddance, Kivior, man.
We think with Kivior, it's one of those things where he weren't, but the manager was so obsessed with trying to get that defensive shape, to the way he wants to play, perfection, that he bought players, signed players here and there, and finally now he's got the team playing the way he wants. He's got the team defending the way he wants, and he's got ballers in that. Well, with the exception of Gabriel, but he's got ballers in that. Mostly ballers in that back four. But that's how we have, the manager wants it. But yeah, all day long, I think it'd be Nkapie. But I could be wrong. I'm not Mikel Arteta, but my opinion, it has to be Nkapie.
I'm with that. D, where are you? Do you go Nkapie? Do you go anything else?
I think you don't unsettle the nest just because you've got one injury, because Calafiori's been playing well at left back, so you don't want to disrupt that. Right back Timber, people say put him centre half, but then you're going to have to put Ben White at right back, and he ain't first choice. No disrespects to Ben White, so there's no point disrupting two positions over one injury. You go with what you've got. The reason, otherwise, why bring him into the club? You bought him in as a left-sided centre back. So if you bought him to the club as a left-sided centre back, you've then got to trust him and put him there. There's no point disrupting the fullbacks because they've been really, really good this season. So Nkapie, put him in. People say Calafiori, he can play centre back because he does it. You know, he's played there for Italy.
Yeah, but it's the same logic what you just said about
yeah,
Sterling.
but then you're putting Lewis Skelly at left back. You're kind of moving two positions to cover one. Then, no disrespect to Lewis Skelly, but I think when you've brought players in to play in that position, then you've got to go with your gut and trust them. You know, you've got to bring him in. If he doesn't stand up to it, and he looks a little bit kind of a fish out of water, then you then make the changes accordingly. But I think you've got to go into the North London derby with logic, and that is if you've got a left-sided centre back,
play the left-sided centre back.
Then you put a left-sided centre back. So then you keep your shape the same. Then you've got Calafiore the same. You've then got Timber the same. That's not dislodged. Your midfield's the same. So for me, just bring in Hincapié. He'll soon find out. He'll know as soon as he steps on that pitch. As soon as he steps on that pitch Sunday, whoever comes in, they'll know the magnitude of that game.
I'm bullish about Hincapié, man. I think fans are gonna fall in love with him. Maybe I'm biased towards the aggressive kind of South American defenders, but yeah, man, I have all the faith. I have all the faith that he could swim in the deep end, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
obviously, and you know the saddest thing as well. He just had a grain. He's coming back. Yeah. Sorry, into full fitness. He had grain surgery.
So that's what I'm saying. We are gonna have to all these players. You got to remember, all these players at Arsenal Football Club, and I don't want to get into like, oh, it's the manager's fault and whatever. I think it's a collective thing as a club. You know, you get one or two and you think, oh, well, it happens. But it's just too many unrelated contact.
Too frequently.
Injuries, because they're all muscular and fatigue injuries. They're all groins and strains and, you know, it's just crazy. And we've got to up the work rate. And these players will up the work rate, but then upping the work rate could mean some more injuries. So, but listen, no need to panic. You know, we've got the squad depth. We've got the squad now. You know, we've spent the money
as well. Speaking of squad,
you've spent £1 billion. You've spent £1 billion building a squad. This is your squad. You're not a rookie manager anymore. This is, you know, you've been in the game long enough now. You've got to deal with it. It's what you get paid the big bucks for. Simple as that. You've got to deal with it. It's no good making excuses about injuries and, oh, we've got all these players out. Well, you know, it's run its course, all of that now. It's time to deliver. It's time to deliver.
Even if they're all factors, we still need to win silverware this year.
Exactly. Don't want to worry about referees. Don't want to worry about injuries. You can't turn around and say you've got the best squad in Europe and the best squad depth and the best squad and then start moaning if they don't deliver.
It's a winning thing. The players say it. The manager says
manager's got to deal with the tools he's got in the box.
We're competitive now. Bring a bit of silverware home.
If he doesn't coach or deal with what we've got, then and we don't win anything, then I don't know where we go from here apart from show him the doors. Personally,
have we got the best squad in the league?
I would say City's got the best squad, but we've got the best team. If that makes sense.
I hear you.
Team collective, I would say that we've got the best team. Individuals, I would say that a lot of City players are probably the best squad. I would say we've got a better team, but not necessarily a best squad.
I hear that. And again, you know what? As much as Gabriel Magalhães is injured, and yeah, we'd love to have him, it's not a cop-out. Like some of our best performances best results, in the last 3 years, probably when we battered City, Real Madrid comes to mind. In isolated incidences, we didn't necessarily do that with our best 11. Like, and I'm at the point where by hook or by crook, we got to win stuff in it. Like,
but you know what it is. 9 out of 10 times. Short term,
you know what time? 9 times out of 10, we lose them games.
No. It's not about that. Short term, it works because at the end of the day, short terms it works, but long term, you begin to feel that you are missing a few players. You have to look at, Liverpool, first 5 games of the season. Hindsight's 20/20, but no Trent Alexander-Arnold. obviously, God bless his soul, Jota. They didn't have the work rate in Nunez. Right, his finishing was terrible, but they didn't have his work rate. But short term, for one of their first 5 games. But as the season's gone on and on, against teams who can defend a bit better, the players they've missed from last season that won in the league and the style of play that they perfected last season is catching up. And that's why I always say, short term, North London derby will not be an issue, losing to Gabriel. And who knows, maybe we're wrong. But long term, if you keep on losing your top players, especially your main players, the spine, it'll have an effect. It will have an effect.
Clearly, we saw that last season. We've seen that in the last 3 years.
Right, showed that, but
and at other clubs as well.
The thing with injuries, right? Everyone's going to get injuries, and the reason why we're getting injuries isn't because of a lot of it is because managers can't sometimes play the same players there and there, but in every game. But the managers reserve the right to play those players every game because they're playing well. They're the best players for every position, and we're winning with those players. But the real culprits when it comes to injuries to players, really, as far as I'm concerned, is the football international program and the football program in general. It's not just the international program. It's the league. It's the Champions League expansion. Then you've got the internationals. It's too much football. And the problem is the biggest culprits after the associations are actually the fans. No, it's the fans.
No, I'm having that. You can't blame us.
Listen, hear me out. You're part of the problem. I tell you why you're part of the problem. You guys.
Go on. Let me finish. Let me
tell you why you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem because you want wall-to-wall football. 2, the first thing when a player says, "Oh, there's too much football," "Oh, you get paid $200,000 a week." Well, you can.
I agree with that because that's stupid from fans, but I always rebuttal that.
But that is the first thought that comes to your head. The reason why you say that is because ultimately you want football Monday. You want football 7 days a week, 24/7. So, no, that's not just. I'm just saying collectively, not you. Collectively.
Oh yeah, collectively people share.
Not you, collectively.
But we didn't expand the Club World Cup and the Champions League and Super League.
But you're not complaining about it. You're still watching it.
I am complaining, but what can I do? These men decide what's going on.
All I'm saying.
I hear you though.
The fans are the culprits, but the players as well, because they're not happy. In order to keep a player at a club, you've got to pay him about £500,000 a week. That's just a ballpark figure. But how are you going to pay him £500,000 a week? You've got to have more matches, more competitions, more prize money, more advertising, more TV money. You're only going to get all of that if there's more games. I've always advocated that the Christmas program should be just suspended like we do in Europe so we can give the players more rest. But what do fans say? Oh, I like my Boxing Day match. I like tradition.
I'm guilty of that. I want Boxing Day games.
I mean, there's no winners here. There's no winners here. But you'll be the first to complain. No, I'm just saying collectively, not you, collectively, which is the rock. Like I said, everyone involved. A player gets injured. Oh, why are we having that Champions League? Why are we having that? Why is he going to play for his country? Oh, why are we doing this? The manager rotating. What do you expect? Injuries only happen. Impact injuries are one of the most unluckiest things you can have in football. Impacting, because the way I look at it is that if you've got some scumbag player and he goes over the top of you and he puts his studs in your fib, in your tip, you're done. But if it's a situation where you've got muscle injuries, where you've done your groin, you've done your hamstring, and you basically tore muscles, well, surely overexertion leads to injuries. What are we whinging about if we know all this, but we still want our wall-to-wall football?
And some people have criticised the work rate as a reason for our injuries. Where you like with that comment? That's quite interesting.
Well, but that's the thing. Knowing that, we still got more games. Yes, the football's more intense. Yes, the players have to work hard for the ball. Yes, they've got to play like that every game or they don't get selected. But we still have more games. So they're going to be more likely to get injured, especially in this country. In Europe, it's a bit different because the way they play in Europe is a bit slower. And we've noticed that in the Champions League, our players peak within these winter months. But when it comes to knockout competition, that's when you know the top team, especially in our country, because last season, what we saw last season, PSG weren't the best team in the competition by this time. Liverpool were, and Arsenal were up there. When it came to the second,
when it was business and it flipped.
when it came to the business end of the season, PSG were fresher. Hence, that's why they won the league, because they were fresher than all of our teams. Internationale were fresher. But what happened is that in the final, they looked like old men because PSG just ran them ragged. They thought that PSG were going to play slow, quick, slow. But PSG just went bang. And Internationale they couldn't cope with the pace and the relentlessness of the pressing, the attacking, the high tempo PSG played at. Hence the fact they got absolute tanking.
Yeah, we're going to wait. We're going to wait and see because, as I said, these games now are going to be brutal. You know, they're really coming up thick and fast. I mean, ideally, you want all your squad fit going into the, going into the winter. You need all your players so you can rotate and you can rotate at right times. You can make substitutions during games. Look at the bench. What's he got as an option now? He's got Wanyeri, he's got Dauman in an attacking third, because we've been talking about the defensive side of Arsenal.
That's it, isn't it? I knew if he puts him on the bench.
Let's just be honest. Our final third in an attacking points, it's been very bitty. It's been very
Trossard's our best attacker at this moment in time.
It's been very, it's only been effective in moments. It's not been effective throughout the game. You've just seen little glimpses where our final third has looked good. Other than that, it's looked quite laboured and it's looked predictable and it's looked a little bit sorry for itself. So that has to step up. That really does have to step up. But yeah, I mean, Havertz apparently is taking.
And that's what I wanted to say, DJB. It's like all three of us have kind of been focusing in this live stream on Gabriel Magalhães, rightly so. It's the biggest headline. But, Hand of Arsenal came out like he's an ITK and said Gyökeres might not be there for the North London derby. Yeah. Nagelsmann came out and spoke about Kai. So big up Marino, but it's just Marino and prayers at the moment.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is why Tottenham's not going to be easy. You wouldn't, ideally, you don't go into that game having Marino. You go into that game having Gyökeres. You'd go into that game having Gabriel. You got to remember, we're going into games when Saka has not really been firing like he was. You're going into games where Eze hasn't really stepped it up. So, as I said, Trossard's been probably our most threat.
I think Noni will be there, but apart from that, I don't know.
That game against Spurs is going to be really, really tough. It's going to be tough, and players are going to have to step up. Otherwise, you could find yourself on the wrong end of a result. So, yeah, I mean, this is really what worries me though, because these players are going to come back, but it's going to take time for them to kind of...
They're saying early December, by early December,
yeah,
potentially.
Exactly. Kai's been out for ages, so it's going to...
Crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be... it's going to take a while for him to hit the ground running. Madueke's been out the game. Odegaard's been out the game. So you're going to... If they come back sort of back end of November... Yeah, it's going to take them a while. It's going to take them a while. And the fact is, we haven't got time. We have to get results now. We've got to start getting results. We've got to start keeping the pressure on the other teams. Otherwise, we could find ourselves literally level points or behind City. And if City get ahead, we all know what they can do once they're ahead. So,
you know what it is, DJB. So sorry to just sort of interject. But when we talk about City, the Newcastle's the litmus test for their championship credentials.
They're bopping Newcastle, man.
And the thing about that is that forget Liverpool playing Arsenal, playing any Liverpool and Arsenal. That take care out of itself. Of course they're going to be motivated. That's the rivals. But it's those tricky away games that we've negotiated. They've got to negotiate. So, for instance, if they beat Newcastle at St James's Park, that's a big win for them, because despite the fact Newcastle are struggling, they've got injuries.
4 points turns to 1 at that point.
So St James's Park is still an hard place to go. They go there and win. That puts us under a lot. That tells me that they're back to a competitive level where they can win the league, because they are winning those sort of games. Because last season they weren't winning. They weren't exactly winning those games, those tricky games. They were losing them or dropping points. Well, this season we've got to wait and see. Obviously, the key players for Man City are just the goalkeeper and Haaland. Goalkeeper's the best shot stopper at the moment.
Their fullbacks are in a real good run of form now as well, to be fair.
Yeah, they are. But yeah,
they might be smelling blood with what's going on over here.
I always say you're as good as your talisman. Your talisman, if you're playing a way that suits Haaland, where it's counter-attacking football, when he just uses his pace and his power, you're laughing if you're laughing if you're if you're Man City of him in that kind of form and he's injury free. But I think saying that, you guys were talking about, it's going to take players time to settle in when they come back. You know what? Mentally, they'll find it very easy if we're still in front. If we're still like 5 points, 6 or 7 points in front, I think, from a mental point of view, I'd rather be in our position going into like January and February with these players coming back than be in a position where it's neck and neck with City, or it's a situation where, God forbid, City are the ones in front. Then the pressure is going to be on players coming back from injury, because they're behind the 8 ball. You know what I mean? So it depends on the environment these players come into, where we are in the league, whether we're leading the table like we are now or we're not. That's when I think the short-termism comes in. Like psychologically, everything's right, we're winning. Yeah, these players may not come back to their best, but they're part of a winning environment where it's inconsequential whether they play well or not. They're just there, and they're getting their kind of mental strength from a winning, winning formula, or winning mentality, or winning team. So we just have to wait. But at the end of the day, as Cloughie says, and it's a horrible thing to say, injured players are an afterthought.
100%. As sad as it is, you can only we need to.
They're an afterthought. You can talk about,
if you're not in any contention to play on the weekend and so on and so forth,
all the Gabbies, they're afterthoughts, because they're no good to me. They're not going to win me matches. They're on the bench. They don't matter because
hey, Magalhães is Jesus is in training in Brazil.
You know that Corin Clough mentality.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the first 11 that can get me those points against Spurs. They're the ones I should be concerned with.
Yeah, no, exactly, 100%. 100%. No, I mean, listen. I said I think we'll beat Spurs. I think we've got enough to beat Spurs. I predicted 2-1.
Beating up Spurs,
but
I'll be real.
It ain't going to be easy. No, of course it's not. It's not going to be easy. I mean, Spurs will be confident because, as I said, they've got a good away form. They've got a good away form. They know we're probably without Gyökeres. They know we've lost Gabriel. So yeah, they're going to come there full of confidence. But I think we should have enough to beat Spurs. It's just the way we've got to try and. We have got to manage the squad a little bit better, though. We have got to manage the squad a little bit better because, another couple of injuries and we could be finding ourselves very, very thin, especially if we do lose Rice. So if we have the opportunity to get players off and get them rested.
Someone commented it on my YouTube channel, like DJB spoke it into existence, the Magalhães injury. I was like, no, he didn't. He considered these kind of things, man. So yeah, don't mention Rice, DJB, man. You might be a bad luck omen still.
No. Listen. Listen, Rice is he's one of them players, isn't he? I mean, look how many games he played for West Ham uninjured. So
as old boots.
Certain players, injuries just follow them, doesn't it? Whereas Rice, touch wood, seems to be okay. And then we've got the Carabao Cup, which is really important, isn't it? That is such.
It doesn't get any easier. About a month away, essentially.
Massive
game.
It's
what we signed up for this season. We want more games. We want more football.
Yeah.
It's life, because a club like Arsenal, every competition has to be winnable. Every score there. Arsenal should be competing in FA Cup finals and League Cup finals.
And the thing is though, we've built a squad. We've built the squad now. This is a squad that's been built to compete on all levels. So we shouldn't really be worried about injuries and who comes in, because these are the players that's at the club. There's been a lot of money spent. The manager's not a rookie. Supposedly one of the best coaches in the world. So time to step up. Let's see what we can do. Keep it going and see how it goes. That is where I'm at now. I'm at the point where I don't want to talk about make excuses about this and look at this. You got to deliver.
Parade in May, regardless of how we do it or what this looks like now. You
have to deliver. I don't want to get to the end of the season, because there will be fans saying, "Oh yeah, but what about the injuries? What about this?"
We can consider that. Have all the conversations.
We've had this conversation now. We've had the conversations before about injuries and stuff like that. Over the line time. That's it. You can't turn around and say it's one of the best squads in Europe and then moan about not doing the business. You can't have it always.
You see what my thing is, DJB? It's like, it's not that injuries aren't a factor, or like you said, the best squad. In isolation, I'm more than happy to have conversations around that. But when we move that conversation, or that conversation is done, did we win silverware? Yes or no? That is where we need to go to, because everybody does get injuries. These things happen. You have to make it happen. So I don't want to cry and do all of that kind of stuff, but I don't want to hear any of that. Like in May, you've got 4 opportunities to win silverware. Make sure we bring home 1, if not, more.
Well, at least bring home 1. At least bring home 1. This squad is good enough.
Simple as that.
To at least win 1, maybe 2 trophies.
And Michael Oliver needs a terrible reception as well.
But this squad, and I believe this squad will win a trophy. I don't know what one, but I believe it will win a trophy. And if it doesn't, I'll be amazed, absolutely amazed. So let's just get behind the team and let's see what we can do. That's all you can do. You can't. As much as much as Gabriel's going to be a miss, much as Gabby is going to be a miss, you've got to back the people that are coming in to do the job, and that's all you can do. And it starts with Spurs. As I said, this Spurs North London derby will set the bar of where we're going to be for going into those Christmas fixtures and January. So we have to get
chase
3
the points we dropped against Sunderland as well.
Got to get 3 points against Sunderland. Have to.
Yeah, I wanted to run through. Go on. I wanted to, before I let you get out of here, I wanted to run through some things with you. Apparently, Benjamin White's situation is one to monitor. Arsenal would be open to offers. However, as things stand, the expectation is that he remains with further talks on his future next summer. His current contract expires.
It's that again, is it? It's that again. I mean, what's happened? What's happened to the Arsenal fans? Ben White for England. That's gone quiet, hasn't it?
Look, I still wanted to go to the World Cup, man. I'm not selling Ben White at all.
Yeah, but the fact is, Ben White is still a player we need until we get someone who could deputise for Timber. He's going to have to stay, because from an attacking point of view, he's still got it. Football's one of the biggest bastards out there.
Shiny new toy syndrome. No one don't care that this guy put his body on the line for us anymore.
The thing about Benjamin White is that ironically, he's a classic example of a player that was overplayed, because the manager played
and he was known to lie about
the injuries on his knee. He's now had to succumb to that injury. He had to have an operation. His replacement, who has who had an injury when he first came, has now made that right back spot his own.
There's no shame. Timber's just better than you, but we've got time for you, White.
Yeah, but there's no argument who's the right back. However,
we need this guy.
White for now. He'll stay, but who knows at the end of the season? It depends on the situation. But he just has to wait his chance, because everyone knows with the amount of games we play and we're gonna play, there is certain light at the end of the tunnel. But one thing,
how much do you think we get for him as well, Kenny? Because we bought him for 50 million off the back of one season.
If we negotiate and do our work properly, and there is a club in the Premiership that wants him,
25.
I'm starting price for me is 25 and upwards. 25 upwards. Why not?
25 for Ben White.
Well,
we spent 50 million on him.
How much did we sell Eddie for? Eddie wasn't pulling up trees for us.
We used to bump us. No, to be fair, Eddie and Ketty was probably one of our more decent sales. 25 million for Ben White.
Well, realistically, what are you going to get for Ben White? He's played no games, and he's
we can't break even.
He's been in and out with injuries.
But you know what Arsenal are going to do? Arsenal are not going to say, "Oh yeah, here you go, it's 10 million." They're not going to do that.
We can't even break even.
But the Berta you've seen this season isn't messing about. He's going to try and get the best players available. So, you guys, 5 million, 5p. Berta, 25 million. This is Berta.
25 million for someone in their mid-20s that despite not playing, is favoured by two.
Yeah,
I'm happy you're not involved in negotiations.
I said the starting price. Starting
Why are we
price.
starting that low?
Well, you know,
35 would be fair, I would think.
Yeah,
it can get my conversation started.
25 to 35 million. You realistically, that's all you're going to get. But again, I think the problem is
it depends on the situation. It depends on who comes in for him. If it's some for abroad and we're asking for 30 or 40 million, we're not getting it. A Premiership team. If it's depends who it is. Brighton might go to Brighton. Brighton, Everton. I wouldn't go to Crystal Palace because some of my players have got Crystal Palace and they don't start games. West Ham, I don't know. It depends on them. For him to go to West Ham, they're going to need new owners for him to want to go there. Palace, not sure, because I think we've seen our players go to Palace. It hasn't worked. Newcastle's a good shout.
Newcastle definitely got 50 million for us.
I think the thing is with players leaving, though, Kenny, is they're going to look. Everyone thinks just because they're at Arsenal, it's like they've got to stay. But looking at it from a player's point of view, I don't want to see any player leave the football club. But you got to look at it from their point of view. They're in their mid-20s or their late 20s, coming to the nitty-gritty part of their season. The bottom line is they want to play games. They want game time. And if they're not getting game time, they're going to want to go elsewhere. Well, they don't care if they're at Arsenal or whatever. They want game time. If Ben White's not getting enough game time, he's going to want to leave.
Can I be a bit churlish?
He's not that far from where he grew up. He's having fat. He's got a family now. He's got a kid.
Can I be a bit churlish? This is a guy who doesn't love football. Right? Not cussing him because that may be irrelevant. Another thing as well, there is in terms of the valuation, he's no longer an international. There is absolutely no way this guy will ever get picked for his country. Doesn't matter whether why. Hey DJ, hey, hang on here. Hang on here. Why would you play?
You're moving mad, Kenny.
No, what? I'm not moving mad. I'll say it's a fact. If you've let your country down in a World Cup and you're trying to come home because you don't get us. If you desert your country at a World Cup, you should never play for your country again. Forget about Arsenal. This is an England thing. I'm an England fan, and I tell you now, as an England fan, he should never play for his country again.
There's three sides to every story, though.
It's black and white. Ben White and when you pull in the shirt for England, it's black and white. You let your country down. You refuse to play. You should never be selected again.
This was last year.
Never.
This was early in the year. Tuchel's a big fan. His problem is he just can't play. Like, because Timber, if he was playing on a regular basis, he's in that England squad.
Tuchel
don't care about that.
I'm an England fan as well. A player that refuses to play for his country should never be play again.
So if Ben White, listen, for argument's sake, if Ben White forms out of this world, you're not calling him up.
No, because the other day you don't leave your country. If you don't want to play for your country, don't play again. That's not even debate. That shouldn't even be debate because he plays for Arsenal. If he played for Brighton, DG, you wouldn't even you'll just say next, let's move on. But because he plays for Arsenal,
if you're one of the best options, I wouldn't say no to it.
DG, because he plays for Arsenal, it means that our players they don't have a toilet. They shit gold. They're everything. They're basically their bathrooms made.
No, I just get drawn on that because I don't know what his relationship. We actually don't know what happened. Yeah, we only know what the press is saying.
He left his country.
No, but we have never heard Benjamin White or his people speak about what happened.
Right, look what happened to David Beckham in '98. He got treated like shit by Glenn Hoddle.
Exactly.
But did he come home? He stayed.
Beckham's his own man. Ben White's his own man.
It's not a debate. If any player should have come home from a World Cup, it would have been David Beckham. I'm not saying
I agree with it, but there's three sides.
But he still played. Forget three sides. If this was anyone in an Arsenal player, you wouldn't be saying that. There's three sides.
Kenny, that's a man from logic. I can't believe this.
It's your country. If you refuse to play for your country, you should never be selected again.
He didn't refuse. He got kicked out.
He walked out. He shouldn't play.
Got kicked out.
No, he walked out.
We don't know why.
He walked out. He shouldn't play for his country. You walk for your country, you shouldn't play. And I'll say that if it was Ireland, I'll say it was Northern Ireland, I'll say it was Wales, I'll definitely say it was Nigeria, and I'll say it was Jamaica. Anyone, because at the end of the day...
Yeah, I can't lie. Ben, if it was Jamaica, I can't lie.
Exactly. So what I'm trying to say, this is we're the club, but you asked me a question about England, and as an England fan, no way is that guy playing for the country again. No way. You walk away, you don't play.
The minute Tuchel calls him up, I'm definitely going to expect a phone call from me.
Yeah, and I'll debate it. I'll debate it. And I'll debate it. And we'll instead of having an Arsenal show, we have an England show. And I'll debate it all day long.
You said Saka weren't world class. I don't know if you're the guy to debate on England matters, Kenny.
Well, I'm not in a club of one.
Yeah.
I'm not in a club of one.
The bottom line is with Ben White, he's not getting no game time at Arsenal, and he's definitely not worth 50. You're definitely not going to get 50 million for him if you sold him. That's a fact. You ain't going to get 50 million for him because of lack of game time and because of his injuries he's had. You ain't going to get 50 mil.
Yeah,
no way.
It's like, someone in the chat spoke about Roy Keane. Of course, when Roy Keane left, Roy Keane should never have been allowed to play for Ireland again. He should never have been playing for Ireland, especially when he tried to walk out twice and then he was called back and then he was thrown out. He should never play for Ireland again. That's. I mean, we've got some bozos in Nigeria. We've got a bozo federation who don't pay the players and treat them like crap. And they've also, if any young player came up to me and said, "Mate, Nigeria called me up," at this, you know what I'd say to them right now: don't play for England, play for Ireland, play for Holland, don't play for that Peshara shit. That joke, because they're a joke.
My last question, this is specifically for DJB and you as well, Kenny. But when I saw this, I thought, let me ask DJB.
Oh, he's not considering the club's not considering putting him on loan. Ethan Smith Rowe, is it? And I've been saying this for about the last year or so.
This is the part I was looking forward to. Yeah, man, take it away. Like, would you?
Been saying it all along. If you follow this guy's career at Arsenal, and you follow Emil Smith Rowe's career at Arsenal, I'm not comparing them as players. I'm comparing them as their career path at Arsenal Football Club. It is a carbon copy of Emil Smith Rowe. Great player, comes on, plays little moments for Arsenal, doesn't get trusted in certain games for Arsenal, gets taken off, the scapegoat. When things are not going right, first one to get pulled off, just like Emil Smith-Rowe was. And what happened to Emil Smith-Rowe? He ended up on loan and then eventually sold. And I've said this all along, day in, day out, on streams for about the last year and a half. That's why I call him Ethan Smith-Rowe, because he's exactly the same. This manager is treating this player exactly the same. And this guy's going to end up on loan. He's way down in the pecking order. He's not above Havertz. He's not above Saka. He's not above Eze. Rightly so. But at the end of the day, he was kept on the bench against Sunderland, which was scandalous in my eyes. He doesn't get enough starts in big games when he could get starts. He doesn't get rotated with Saka enough. Saka's still playing too many minutes. That's why he keeps going down with injuries. He doesn't get rotated enough. This guy is Emil Smith-Rowe, the second coming, all over again. All over again. He will end up on loan, and then he'll come back. He'll end up on loan again, and then he'll eventually ended up sold. He was sold a dream.
Needs to throw his hat on.
He was sold a dream. He was given a contract. Said that he was going to play a more central role. Oh, you know, you're gonna be this. You're gonna be that. You're gonna be this. You're gonna be that. Hasn't happened, and it won't happen. It won't happen. This guy needs to get out of Arsenal Football Club if he's going to move on in his career, because it ain't happening under this manager. Something about him he doesn't like. I don't know what it is.
Prove him wrong.
Whether or not he doesn't track back enough, whether or not he doesn't do his defensive duty enough, there is something about this kid the manager doesn't like. And I've said it time and time and time again. He's going to end up out on loan. And it's a shame. It's a shame, but unfortunately, it's the way it is. He's at Arsenal Football Club. For some reason or another, when he's had the opportunity, he's not impressed the manager. He's impressed a lot of fans, but he hasn't impressed the manager, who's the most important. He's down in the pecking order, and when everyone's fit, he's going to be further down the pecking order. What do we want him to do as fans? What do we want him to do? Just sit on the bench and rot when he's got all this talent? Isn't that a selfish way of looking at things?
Would it make sense? I
think, unfortunately, if we get him out on loan and
he's definitely not overrated.
If we get him out on loan and he comes back, and he's doing the business, will he get another chance? I don't think he will. I think he's got to move on personally, and that's my opinion. People don't have to agree with it, but I've said it all along. Don't be surprised if he doesn't go out on loan in January.
And it might be the thing, because obviously I've maintained, for me, I would love to see Nwaneri play centrally. But if you're going to play centrally, rightly or wrongly, you're going to play less minutes. I do think, regardless, like if we park off what we've spoken about and what Arsenal are trying to achieve, I do think Nwaneri is that kind of guy, or one of those players. The manager's just got to say, listen, you've got 5 games, you've got 10 games, whether that's realistic or not. By the end of that 10-game mark, show me a level of consistency. And in January, obviously, at this moment in time, he's a body. But in January, if you're not playing enough, you have to go and get minutes. Minutes are
also though, DJ, can I come in? I mean, you've got Eze. You got Eze not showing brilliant form, but he won't take the chance and give him minutes there. You got Saka looking tired, leggy in certain games, and he doesn't bring him on there.
On right wing as well, in my opinion.
And he doesn't bring him on there. You got a chance to play him on the left hand side, perhaps, or rotate. He doesn't. He just. For some reason or another, he doesn't trust this player enough to start.
Love for the super top.
And at the end of the day, this guy is chasing an England career, because when he plays for England under 21s,
scored yesterday or the day before.
He's man of the match 9 times out of 10. So this guy's got a future ahead of him playing for England. He ain't going to get that. He ain't going to get that sitting on the bench and just playing the odd minute for Arsenal Football Club.
Just not trusted ahead of the others just yet.
And it's a shame. It's an absolute shame, because he ain't going to get the opportunity at Arsenal, and you just got to deal with it. I've said it all along. He has to move on if he's going to further his career.
It's the problem though with that is that I think Drizzy firstly makes a good point that he said about him not pressing. And I do think, I think
it's all off the ball with Nwaneri.
I think
the biggest improvement you need to make.
The Brentford game at home last season was for me was like about 5 steps back in terms of his development and his relation in what the manager wanted him to do. The problem we got,
90 minutes.
It's a situation. If he does leave the club, he's got to think hard about it, because what we've seen, not all the players, but when we see players leave Arsenal to go to other Premiership clubs, they realise that maybe the grass is not always greener. And I'm not talking about, I'm talking about the fact that, the clubs, Arsenal's a massive, massive club. And the club he's going to go to is not as big as Arsenal. Then you've got the facilities. They're not the same as Arsenal.
You take a step back to take a step forward.
One thing that Arsenal does, especially since we had Wenger as a manager, you're ingrained into this Arsenal way of playing. It's
much memory.
There's no other style of play. It's this way. And then when you go to another
Chelsea have over us with the Cobham years.
When you go to another club, you struggle to adapt. We see it with some of their young players who've got the clubs, and then they're on the bench or they don't play. Smith Rowe, is injury free, but he's not a regular, because the way we play at Arsenal compared to Fulham is night and day, and it's like he has to play catch up. And football waits no time for anyone. Now, I'm not saying that will happen with Ethan, but look at Eddie at Crystal Palace. He spent most of his adult life at Arsenal. He joined us when he was 14. So how old is he? About 24, 25?
So he might even be a bit older than that's left.
Let's just say 10 years he's played the Arsenal. He's done everything.
So Nelson's got to be around that as well.
He's done everything Arsenal. He left at 25, so
Arsenal won the FA Cup.
He's only brain in his brain. Yeah, but he wasn't a starter, was he?
I'm just saying for context. That's how long he's been around.
Yeah, context. But was he a catalyst to them winning it?
He should have cut. No. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying
you mean?
Sorry, but you've even got Skelly now. Can't even get you got Skelly now. You've got Calafiori ahead of Skelly. I mean, crazy. And Skelly's a midfield player. He ain't a left back. People are brainwashed to say that people are brainwashed into thinking he's a left back. He's not a left back. He's a midfield player. But this manager hasn't developed him in the right position. So Skelly's now can't get a game. You got Dowman not being trusted. He goes on the coach, does all the pre-season.
I can't agree.
He's doing all the training. He goes on the bus to Sunderland. He's with the team. Everything else, doesn't trust him. Doesn't bring him on.
That one's mine.
Doesn't bring him on.
DJ, they're both DG and DJB. I'm just going to I'm not going to be Arteta, but I'm going to imitate him. When we were 2-1 up against Sunderland, I can tell you now, you ain't going to like what I've got to say. Getting Lewis Skelly on, getting Dowman on, and getting Ethan on wasn't going to happen.
I disagree with Miles Lewis Skelly. The other two, I wasn't saying to bring them on.
None of them, because he couldn't trust them tactically. Because what was happening is that he knows if you played Dowman instead of Saka,
it weren't a Dowman game.
You're basically asking a 16-year-old or 15-year-old to repel waves of attacks. If I was a Sunderland coach, I'd say, right, boom, we're going to attack.
Yeah, welcome to the Prem, young man. Sunderland weren't adapting. We want
to risk it. And Ethan,
I just think Norgard, Lewis Skelly, and someone are missing out. All viable options.
Yeah, Norgard doesn't have the running power that Declan Rice. This
guy, I hear you, but you're an experienced Brentford man. If you can't bring him on to see out 15 minutes, what are we doing?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but that's the problem. That's the problem.
So I understand not bringing on the young ones, but Arteta, regardless of if we're down to our bare bones,
that is the problem. Why these guys will struggle when they leave us, because when you're at any other club at Arsenal, 9 out of 10 times you spend a lot of time without the ball. You're not going to be having the best facilities. You're not going to be on the front foot, because if you go to a club like Fulham and Crystal Palace, they're not as big as Man United. They're not as big as Liverpool. Not as big as the top 6. So they're going to play a certain way that is where they're not going to be on the front foot. Where these guys, when they were at Arsenal, regardless of what levels they play at, they were always on the ball. They're always on the front foot. They haven't had to do the dirty jobs because we're smashing teams. But when they go to these guys, they got to do the dirty jobs because that's what they got to do week in, week out, and they can't do it. So essentially, they stay on the bench.
And they're the easiest ones to kind of leave out, man. If I'm honest with you, like we've been knowing that was going to be the case.
That's why I think it's going to piss him off. You know, sorry to use my language, but I feel this strongly about it that he ain't playing. But I do think he's got to stay here and be patient because this is the best environment for him. The way he plays, the best environment is at Arsenal Football Club.
It's a long season, man. When you get your chance, all I would say to conclude that, when you get your chance, take it. People, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'd love to have Kenny Ken and DJB here for longer, but I've actually got to rush off, man. I'm happy we made it happen.
Thanks for having us on.
No, mine. Are you lot on any other platforms and panels?
It's been good to come back on a Wednesday, as always.
It's weird. We're finally back on a Wednesday, isn't it? Really?
It's been good. It's
weird.
been good.
It's actually funny.
Nice comments as well, and some, you know.
Oh, there's nice comments. There's horrible comments about all of us.
JD agreed with me for once today about that.
I've had the usual comments. Just because you don't agree with someone, they then sort of say that you got it in for the gaffer and everything else, and you're not this and you're not that.
Hey,
you're going to get it all the time, my friend.
Hey, you know what's funny to say that? Have you guys heard of Chris Carlin, Tottenham guy? Tottenham.
Yeah.
You've heard of Chris Carlin?
Yeah.
I'm on his podcast at 8:30. You know, the North.
Oh, cool.
So make sure you guys support Kenny Ken.
Yeah, so you know, me and him do a bit of work together, and he for me,
nice.
when it comes to Spurs content, he's the best. He's one of the best out there.
Dead. We're not gassing up.
Come on, you guys. Got to win.
What's too funny? I think Chris does a fantastic job, and he likes me. So he's doing even a more superb job because he gets me on.
Exactly. Kenny, you're not around Thursday, are you, for this week?
No.
So I'll see you Sunday. I'll see you Sunday at the game.
What time are you getting there?
Oh, we're going to probably get there early-ish, I suppose. Usual.
Get the ground rocking, man. Get the ground rocking.
Exactly.
Remember what I told you in that, DJB? Let's campaign to stop Arsenal going to Wembley. Let's just
we need that. We can't go to Wembley, mate. We can't go to Wembley. That'd be a disaster.
Arsenal moving
disaster. Not football-wise.
Me and you got to create a movement to basically put pressure on the club that if they're going to, rebuild the Emirates Stadium, that they got to go to either the Olympic Stadium, the London Stadium, but never to Wembley. Wembley's a choke for
can't go Wembley. Definitely can't go Wembley. It's an absolute nightmare to get home from. Absolute nightmare.
Yeah, and the tubes are death traps.
It just makes sense. It just makes sense to ground share with West Ham because it's just more easier for us to get to.
Like West Ham's ground, half part of it's in Hackney.
Exactly.
Technically, yeah. Actually, yeah. When you walk
Hackney's
through the
just around the corner
from whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's around the corner.
Yeah.
Can actually walk there still. So yeah, people. Kenny Ken, DJB.
Got to win a trophy in Cafe.
Fantastic. We've got to win a trophy. And again, as much as I'm praising the two men on the platform, even your horrible ones. Without you lot, it's dead. So make sure you're following DJB's platform.
Big up the chat. Big up everyone. It's what debates all about.
See you guys. Well, we got to find a day to do it next week because Wednesday,
because we're playing on for Wednesday.
Can you just imagine it, right? Chelsea got Barcelona on a Tuesday. Arsenal have got Bayern Munich. PSG are playing Tottenham. Can you believe it, right? For all the armchair viewers out there who don't have any affiliations to any of the clubs that I've mentioned, you're laughing your nuts off because, bloody hell, you've got a lot of big games, but you're going to have a bit of dilemma. PSG or Tottenham or Arsenal Bayern. I know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm doing as well, man. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. We're out. Lads.
Take it easy. Take it easy, guys. All the best. Love.
Bless.
when like